Today we're going to be drawing using shapes. So we are going to be using this bell ringer, the Dean Russo dog, and I'm going to teach you the basics in how to draw using shapes. So the first thing we need to do is kind of give ourselves a barrier, an outline of where this is going to fit into. So down below here, if you have space, if not, go to the next page. You're going to make a square or rectangle pretty quickly in there, and I'm going to label this so I know that that's what I'm doing here. Draw using shapes. Okay, so we're going to be thinking about this dog in terms of the basic shapes that it is. And one of the most important things about drawing, which you probably know that I've said a million times, is to draw really, really, really lightly. If you dig to China, then you're stuck there, right? And most of drawing is not the first thing you draw. So the very first line I draw is usually not very accurate. So it's give and take, maybe making sure that you are able to erase and move things around when you need to. Okay, so we're going to write that over here. Draw lightly, just a reminder to us that that's really important. So when I'm drawing this, some shapes that I might see. One, the shape of the face. It's like a circle or an oval shape. I also see some shapes within like the ears, so that's like a triangle. This is like a triangle. I see with a nose. I see maybe a triangle in the mouth, and maybe the body is more like a rectangle. If you see other shapes within that, that's okay. But you're just going to lightly sketch this in here. And so one great thing about drawing with shapes is it's going to give you the outline, so you make sure that you fit everything that you need to into your area. So looking at this, this is my first oval, like the shape of the face. I'm keeping in mind that the ear is going to be here, and this ear is going to be here with that general shape. And let's see, this would be my body, this might be my mouth, maybe my nose, and done! Now it looks just like that. Not really. What you probably noticed is that I didn't just draw one shape. I drew a bunch of shapes around, and those are called searching lines. So I'm using searching lines to really make sure that I'm looking at the object and thinking about how big it is. Because once again, my first line is not going to probably be right. So now I've got this, and I'm going to look at this a little bit more deeply. I'm going to look at this and say, you know what? This actually comes down like this, and it juts out, and then it comes back around, instead of just being flat like that. So I'm going to kind of take that idea, and in one of the searching lines that I think is most correct, I'm going to start sketching that in a little bit more final. Same up here with this ear. Instead of it being just a perfect triangle like that, I actually think it comes in and out, and I'm going to start kind of sketching what I'm seeing a little bit more. And actually, because I am able to, the eraser was invented, I could really move this around and try to get exactly what I'm seeing there, okay? The top of the head's got a little bump like that, and then it comes down, and I see the edge of the ear, which comes in like this. This comes down, and it goes kind of into the body, which comes out, and then down, like that. Once again, my first line is probably not going to be the most accurate. And so when I'm looking at this, this actually intersects about up here, and it comes down and out like that. Okay, so now I've got kind of a more accurate version of what I'm seeing. There. So I'm seeing that a little bit more accurately. Now I need to come in and I need to work on the rest of it. So this, I'm noticing, was jutting out because of the mouth. So I'm going to just kind of line that up and then continue adding some of those details that I see. And the more details I can kind of gather with what I'm seeing, the better. Like, here's maybe the collar, and that comes up like that. Wraps around this way and actually has this kind of coming out that way. So I'm just starting to put those details in a little bit more. And this, here's the eye. I see this line here. Kind of starting to just maybe give that a lot more detail than I'm seeing. Okay? So is this perfect? No. But is it pretty close? Yeah, it's a lot better than what we first started out with those searching lines. Okay? So once I've got that a little bit better and a little bit more accurate, then I can start adding in some of the things like the depth. So I'm going to start putting in, oh, I see that this is dark in here. So turn my pencil to the side and maybe add some value over some areas that could add depth within this work of art. And like I said, the more layers and the more detail, the more accurate your image is going to be.